and welcome to my channel. I'm UK Gamer 808 and today we are looking at FS19 new mods. Now they are catch-up mods, they're ones I've missed at the start of the week. Well, these were last week, I think they were. And today we have a few mods to do a review on. So let's go to the Modhub and see what we're looking at today. And here's today's catch-up mods. We have the Cultivator 2M by Vadas 18, and that is a 2 meter working width, quite cheap, £1,500, 40 horsepower needed. And then we also have the Vadas Dad Carrier pack by Matt26, and that consists of quite a few different cultivators, up to 8 meters, starts at what, 4 meters, yeah, cool. And then we have the Dondi 800 series by RedStag ModdingTeam and Dondi S.P.A. Italian subsoil available in various sizes. So you've got quite a few different configurations there to go into. And that's your lot for catch-up mods today. Right, first FS19 mods are, I think we will do, let's do the first mod review on the little cultivator. Now we have the Lizard Cultivator, 2 meters wide and £1,500 to buy, so pretty cheap. £117 for your initial leasing costs, and it is -4 on the slot count. You need 30 horsepower to run it. However, in the Modhub it did say 40 horsepower, so I take it the shop's right. However, it's not normally right, is it? But it says 30 horsepower, but we won't worry about that because it's a low horsepower anyway, and it's got a working speed of 8 miles an hour. Now you can have a choice of 9 different colours, the main colours, and they will cost you an extra £300 extra. Now the design colour, which is the prong colour, I think that was, yeah it was, that was free. So there's 9 different colours on that, but you don't have to pay for that, that's free. Can't go on with that. Now the back roller is an added extra option on that, which will cost you an extra £500. So we're going to test that one out in a minute, but it looks nice little cultivator, really. Quite basic, but it's a cultivator. It doesn't need to do a lot, does it? It just needs to dig the ground up, and that's your lot. But done a nice tidy job. I haven't found any problems with it. It looks fantastic. Nice mod. Not into these smaller cultivators myself. I tend to use a 6 or a 9 meter as a minimum, but that's just me. Everyone's different. There's a lot of people who only use up to a couple of meters, but that's not me. But if that is you, there's a 2 meter one just for you there. Right, then we'll have a look at the Vadas Dad Carrier pack. Now this does consist of the 4 different cultivators, and we'll start off with the smallest one over here. Now they do range in money, and they're not too expensive anyway. I do like the yellow and the red. It's really bright colours and it looks fantastic, it really does. So the first one is the Vadas Dad Carrier 420. Now this is £23,000 to buy, an initial leasing cost of £1,173. It does need 120 horsepower to run it, and it's 5 meters wide, this one, with a -5 on the slot count. They've all got a 10 mile an hour working speed on them. So let's get a tractor and drop him down and get him unfolded. So we haven't really got any extra buttons or anything on here, as it is just a cultivator at the end of the day, isn't it? And that's in the working mode, so now we're actually rolling on the rollers. So you can take it down the road like that, however you probably wouldn't, as it would get damaged in the real life. But that's it down, and yeah, 4 meters wide, pretty cool. We've got lighting on it as well, and detail on this amazing. All the parts look a proper job, they really do. Fantastic bit of kit. A lot of time was spent on this, I bet. So that's the 420, and then we'll have a look at, we've basically got the 500. Now the 500 is 5 meters wide. Now this one will cost you 30 grand to buy and £1,530 on your initial leasing costs. It's -6 on the slot count, so one more slot, and you need 150 horsepower to run that one. Then we have the Carrier 650. Now this one, the next size up, is 6 meters wide, need 190 horsepower to run it, £42,000 to buy, and £2,142 on your initial leasing cost. It is 6.4 meters on this one, so it's a little bit wider. Now you see this one, we've got these extra splines on the front there, and that one hasn't got it, and they're on the top there as well. Those are added options which are extra £1,000 to have that into the equation. And I'll tell you what, I didn't notice that there's a little toolkit there, isn't there? Some spanners and a specialised spanner for something there. That's pretty cool. And then we have the bad boy, the biggest one. Well, there is a bigger one in the shop, which is a little bit bigger than this one. Very similar. It's the Vaderstad, I think it was the 820 XL or something like that, but it was a little bit bigger. Now this one says it's 8.2 meters wide, £68,000 to buy, and it's still cheap really. It's not too much money. £3,468 on your initial leasing cost. Now you do need 220 horsepower to run this one, and it is -6 on the slot count. There are no different wheel options, we just got trail balls for them, but a nice cultivator. I think it was down under the disc harrows thing. Some of them say disc harrows, and then they're in the disc harrow section. Some are cultivators in disc harrow section. And what's the difference? Why don't they just, I know the disc harrows are the ones with the disc, and the cultivators are meant to be the ones without the disc, but we seem to have them mixed up all. So some people call it cultivator, some people call it disc harrow. It's cultivator in my book. But that is the Vadas Dad Carrier pack. Then moving on, I thought we'll have a look at them first because there was quite a few different ones to have a look at. Oh, it's not that, it's that tractor. Turn that off. So then we have the Dondi 800 series, which consists of 5 different subsoilers. Now these are a bit annoying in my book because they say they're a plough. They can be used as a plough, but they're not a plough, they're a subsoiler. You can't do things with a plough what you can do with this, i.e. create fields. So it's not a plough, is it? It's just a, well, I don't understand the point of them myself, where it is, why are you going to use something like this when you can use a plough? But that's just me. Anyway, let's get into it. So we have the first one, that one there, is the Dondi 805, £6,850 to buy, and your initial leasing costs are £349, so you're not going to cost much money. Now 130 horsepower needed for this little one, and it's 2.80 meters wide and -3 on the slot count. They have got a working speed of 7 miles an hour. And then we move up to the Dondi 807, where this one costs £8,650 to buy, £441 on your initial leasing cost, and you need 250 horsepower. Now that's getting up in horsepower now, but it gets a lot worse than that, it really does. So that one was the 3.5 meters wide, and then we go up to the Dondi 809. Now the 809 is £10,700 to buy, so it's pretty cheap. They are cheap, £545. But this one you need 370 horsepower to run it, and that's 4.5 meters wide. So in my book, I just use the Lizard plows, and they're 180 horsepower, and they're 6 meters wide, so they're even bigger than this, and you need less horsepower. So I didn't understand why to use them. but they are a nice bit of kit. You know, the detailing of it is pretty cool. Done a fantastic job. I'm not here slagging it off, I just don't understand the point of using them. Now these, you can have this additional roller on the back, which was extra option on that. I think it was an extra £1 or a couple of grand on that, but you can see these ones haven't got the roller. We haven't got that roller. It's like a compactor on the back, isn't it? That one has, and so that's your extra on it. But I did find a little issue with that, but we'll go into that when we put it to the test. Then we've got the 811, and yep, there it is, upside down. Why is it upside down? Because when you drop them off, you have to be careful with these bigger ones, because they like to topple over. So you can drop it off into the ground and then disconnect like that, and it's all right. But if it drops down, it will just drops and then hops straight over. But it gives us the opportunity to look underneath. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see underneath this one, would we? Now this is the 811, and it's £18,850 to buy, and is 961 on your initial leasing cost. And what horsepower do we need for this? We need 500 horsepower, 5.5 meters wide, for -4 on the slot count. So the largest one we've got is the 813, and that's 22,000. So it is cheap still, you know. It's £22,700 to buy and £1,157 on your initial purchase. Initial leasing cost, not purchase cost. It's 6.4 meters wide, and this one is also -4 slots. But how much horsepower do you think you need to run on this one then? You need 700 horsepower. 700. You're like, wow, that's crazy. And you also need a lot of horsepower just to pick the bloody thing up, as I will show you, because I got this one out and I thought, well, I'll use the case and then we can use that for all of it. And it's like, oh no, of course you can't, because the weight issue on this, well, we can just put it on the front end, you will see straight away. So yeah, you lower it down and then cause it's dragging, which it will do, but as soon as you lift it up, it will not have it whatsoever. So you do need big tractors. So I've got one of them down in the field ready to go. I got a Steiger, which is just under 700 horsepower, because I haven't got anything in the game at the moment which is 700 horsepower or more. I didn't have any of the big buds installed, so we're just under the horsepower with the Steiger. It's 692 or something like that. Right, so let's get these down to the field. We've had quite a few cultivators and stuff lately, so I am actually running out of field. I have to put some crops in it, grow some crops, and start again. Because this field we've taken into grass. Let's do a hop over there. There we go. Yeah, we put grass in this field, and where I've been putting placeables down, this map does not like you putting placeables on top of placeables. It's proven to be a bit of a nightmare, because I've got a bit of a ridge over here, and I can't do nothing about it. Just over that side, you can see the ridge just drops down, and well, it won't let me flatten it out or do nothing. Stupid, just stupid. Right, so let's try out the little one first, the little lizard cultivator. Let's drop that off, and I think we should have enough horsepower. So we hook that up, drop it down. So the top speed was 8 miles an hour. Okay, not too bad then. It didn't lie in the shop, it did actually say 8 miles an hour. And we've got some animation going. Just throwing that up. But no issues with it whatsoever. We don't normally have issues with cultivators or ploughs or anything like that. They just do one job, so it's hard for them not to do a job. They either don't work or they work, and this one definitely works. Right then, so moving on to the, let's do the Vaderstad next. So this one does need 220 horsepower, and with the Puma we've got 225, so we shouldn't have any issues with it. Let's put the help window on, because there wasn't anything extra on there, was there? No, it's got the lift axes, but that's the sunroof. So drop that down. Worker away, and we're doing at a speed, it did say, although it was 11. No, it was 10 mile an hour. And we got a lot of dust kicking up off there. Plenty of animation going on. Looks proper job. Cool. Let's fold that back away. Yeah, it doesn't like it because it's got no wheels or rollers when you're folding it and dragging it. We had another one like this a while back. I can't remember what it was. It might have been the other Vaderstad actually. Right, so here we go. We got the big Steiger out, and we have the big Dondi, and there's a bit of weight on this. You can feel it as soon as you pick it up. You see, whoa, straight on the back end there. Now we have got a little bit of control on this one with the, there it is there. Let's lift it back up, and you can see this roller does go up and down on the back there, but you have got to be careful because it does interfere. Whereas let's do the worker. So I've got it set on that height, which is highest up it can go. It's not a problem. Stop the worker a minute. If we drop that down and then we do the worker again. So yeah, you can see the speed's slowing down a little bit. This is meant to be 7 mile an hour. It does get there, but it just drops down a little bit. But that is just that. Just drop it down. Put auto on. Yeah, and if we lift that up a bit, it still works. So if it is going slow, that's what it is. That back roller is just down a little bit too low, so it slows the whole thing down a little bit. But nice size. But I was just like, well, you can use it as a plough. So in the options, how can I create fields? Well, I can't. So it's not a plough then, is it? It's a cultivator. It's a big cultivator, what needs a lot of power. I know it is to do with whatever seeds you're going to sow, where some seeds want deeper dug ground to others and what have you. And I know somebody say, well, yeah, it needs this, but in my book, will I ever use it? I doubt I ever will. There's no need. But it's a nice mod, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people using it. Look at the animation on that. That is proper turning that over. Nice job. So that is the Dondi. Proper job. Right, well, we've finally caught up on a few more mods. I've still got a couple more to do, and hopefully I will get a few more done today. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then always appreciate if you smash that like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, why not go and check out one of my Farming Simulator 19 videos. Got plenty to choose from now, up to about 625, so plenty, loads and loads to choose from. Go and have a look if you haven't seen any of them before, because you'd be surprised what's there. Now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.